Good morning from Paris, France, with Beyond the Rings. This is Jeff on Sunday, August 4th, 2024. It seems like the Olympics have just started, or they've been going on for a long time, but either way, we have 1 week to go. 8 days from this Sunday to next Sunday, the games will continue. Lots of excitement, lots of uh, sports records and stories. But as we know through Beyond the Rings, there's so much more going on. God is at work. We are having some incredible opportunities. And I can't thank you enough again to being a part of the support team, being there back at home in the US or wherever you might happen to see this video, praying. Many of you have given in the past and sharing about what God is doing here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We continue to press on and make the most of every day. Yesterday, being Saturday, August 3rd, was a unique day in that it was a weekend. Lots more people out and about. We had the privilege of seeing an Olympic event. We stepped outside of our hotel, and we had seen the day before, 2 days before they began setting up, that in fact the men's cycling race would go right past our hotel. So we spent the day about, I don't know, 50 yards from our hotel, sitting on a bench, talking to people all day long, sharing the gospel, um, and having great encounters. It was relaxing to be able to sit all day and not walk all day. It was a nice, cool, overcast day here in Paris. Just wonderful, wonderful opportunities. Children, families, couples, people from America, people from Belgium, literally all over. I think our country list is approaching 50. And just stop to think about that, folks. We've had the opportunity to have gospel conversations with people from over 50 countries. Just yesterday alone, we added Cuba. We have a partnership at my church, at Concord Church, with the church in Cuba. We can't get there. The State Department changes regulations constantly. There's lots of issues. Even if we could get there, food is a scarcity, so we don't want to be a burden to the church. So we support them in prayer and in finance, some minimal financial contribution, um, but we can't get there. And yet we know God's doing a great work there. We hear constantly about how people are being changed and people are coming to faith and baptisms are happening and discipleship is beginning. But here we got to be in Paris, France, and share the gospel message with a man from Cuba. And so that is why I am so passionate about being at the Olympics during the games to share the gospel of Jesus. It is really Acts 1:8 all in one place. You've heard me say that. Go look it up, read it, see what Jesus was talking about as he was commanding his disciples one last time before he ascended back to heaven. And we all now await his return. We're to be on mission wherever we are, being witnesses to Jesus Christ and what he has done for the world and for us personally. And that's the beginning and end of why we're here, to be a witness to Jesus. And we're having opportunities to do that in so many ways. Yesterday alone, a couple of personal standouts for me. One is, many of you, that I have a precious daughter that we adopted from China, Joy Lee. And yesterday, a couple with a little 3-year-old girl from China just happened to come over and visit with us when we were sitting on the bench waiting for the cycling event. This precious little 3-year-old just made my day. Reminded me of my Joy Lee when she was little. In my heart, I do have a heart for Asian people, and the joy of visiting with her mom and dad, and more importantly, her. I got to give her not only our pen as my brothers and sister in Christ ministered to the parents, I was focused on the 3-year-old. And then I, of course, had to give her another pen because I'm a pushover. She didn't even ask. But that was fun. But you know what else? Throughout the day, I met 2 other um, people from China. One was a couple from Canada. He was Canadian, she was Chinese. Had a wonderful visit with them on the train as we were headed toward the Arc de Triomphe last night. And then now that I'm saying this on the video, I can't remember the third, but there was a third. Oh, I started my day yesterday morning with Lawrence, a young man who studies in America, but is Chinese from Shanghai. And he was staying in the same hotel we were in and traveling by himself. So when he saw me making this video for you all back home, not this one, but the one from yesterday, afterwards, he came over and asked me if I had a blog, and then we were off to the races. Had a wonderful visit with that young man. So it was a great Chinese affirming day for me personally, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But you know what else God did yesterday, guys? I just have to share these stories with you because it's unbelievable if you don't hear it. So one of the things that I do is I look for flags or how people identify themselves. Like, for example, yesterday, at the end of the race, we're just one little section on their 200 and some odd mile or kilometer race, okay? And they go past us, but we were like one of the last legs of the race. And so not while the race was still going on in front of us, the race had completed at the finish line. The first, second, third finishers had crossed the line, and first was Belgium. Well, there were a group of Belgian guys near us, probably 6 or 8 of them, that just cut loose with this, what could I can only assume is a chant or cheer for Belgium, and they went on. Got it on video. I'll post it eventually. So you look for flags. We're here as human beings, but we're here as countrymen too. And so you look for identifiers. And that helps you understand where they're coming from. Could there be a language barrier if you try to communicate with them? But you try anyway, because so many people know English. And so I often do that. And if I see an American, red, white, and blue, USA, whatever, Team USA, I'll typically yell out, "Hey, American, where are you from?" And most of the time, even if they're in a hurry, they'll pass by Ohio, Washington, D.C., Oklahoma. And even if they can't stop and chat, it's been a fun little momentary exchange. So yesterday, we're heading back to the hotel, and we're in one of the subway hallways, transitioning from one train to another. It was a very busy time, and we're passing by a bunch of people, and I see just a bunch of spattering of Americans. So I start yelling out, "Hey, Americans, where are you from?" and start getting this conversation going on with people as we're passing by them. Well, I get to like the 3rd or 4th group of people who's heard this conversation. They're like, "Missouri." I'm like, "Hey, Missouri, I'm from Missouri." They're like, "St. Louis." I'm like, "I'm from St. Louis." And they're continuing to walk, and I'm continuing to walk, and they're like, "Baldwin." I'm like, "I'm from Baldwin." And I said, "My daughter went to Sorrento Springs Elementary School." And they said something, but we're still going the opposite directions. And I thought, wow, that was interesting, but I didn't really connect with them, right? But then I had an idea, or I should say, God gave me an inspiration. I get back to our hotel last night, and I'm part of 2 Facebook groups that are neighborhood and area centric to where I live in Baldwin. And I put the word out, like, "Hey, this is a major shot in the dark, but here's what happened. Here was the time. Here was the subway stop we were at. Here was the picture of me and what I looked like at that time. I'm looking to know who this couple was." I've already gotten a lead from some other people in that group, but I haven't yet made that connection. But I can't begin to tell you how exciting I am to be on this journey looking for this couple that I had a brief encounter with from my neck of the woods in Missouri. It may not happen until we get back home, but I'm looking forward to that. That is the kind of stuff you just can't make up. I can't pretend, I can't orchestrate that. I can't make it up. And here's why I get excited about that. I get excited about that because God is at work everywhere. You know, there is a lot of differences being here. We're from different cultures, different countries, different races, different genders, different political structures. But you know what? We're all human beings made in the image of God. We all need the same thing. And our greatest need is forgiveness of our sin and a restored relationship to the one true God. And so that's why we're here. I invite you to make the most of every day that you have, everywhere you are. Simple prayer like, God, let me see with your eyes and feel with your heart today. May we not just feel sorry, but may we be motivated into action. We can't fix everything. I can't give every homeless person a place to sleep. I can't give a meal to every hungry person that I may encounter. But what I can give every single time, regardless of the presenting need, is the hope and the healing that comes through salvation and a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so continue with us on this journey as we move forward for another, what is today? I figured this out the other day. 13 days? That's not right. 8 days. In 8 days, we fly out. Continue to join us every day. We love having you along for the ride. Again, I can't tell you how encouraging and renewing the comments, the shares are to us. And don't just look for mine, look for Tony Wright, Brandon Long, and Destiny Killian. They're all posting great pictures from Facebook that I haven't even done. They do a great job of that. I kind of focus on this video. They're getting some pictures and some stories up. And so continue to follow along. Please continue to pray for us. We desperately covet your prayers, and they make a huge difference. Pray for our physical strength, endurance, discernment, and wisdom about where to go, conversations to have, um, when to speak, when not to speak, and that we would be faithful and make the most of every day that we have while we're here. Special prayer and shout out to my dear friend Tony Wright, who has been our ground team leader. This is his first Olympics, and God is very clear, made it very clear that he gets it. Tony gets it, and he is an invaluable addition to our team this trip, and Lord willing, for many, many Olympic outreaches to come. But Tony's going back home today. You're welcome, Julie. He has been a blessing, as has Julie. If you've seen all the Pray Around the World posts, Julie, Tony's wonderful wife and dear friend, has put those together for us and put those out the last several months. And thank you, Julie. You're getting back. And we have been blessed, and your family, by his presence. Folks, Tony only gets a few weeks of vacation every year. And he spent over a week of it here with us in Paris, sharing the gospel. So pray for Tony, not only in his journey back home, but his return to his work, that he would continue to be successful in his career. But I'm telling you what, the man has a heart for Jesus. No matter whether he's at work, serving his church faithfully in Mississippi, or being with us here in Paris. And so pray for Tony as he travels back today. A little long today, not surprising. Hey, it's Jeff. Thank you all again. I love you so much. Appreciate you so much. We'll touch base again tomorrow. But hey, don't forget, check out throughout the day. You'll see additional posts. Occasionally, if something unique happens, I'll throw up a quick comment or something on Facebook. And I apologize for those who've been trying to follow along at beyondtherings.net. I was hoping to do more updates there. It's just a little harder to get there, but I'm going to try and do better. Okay? All right. God bless y'all. Until next time, remember, there's much more going on beyond the rings.